Audacious Mornings, every morning, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The sound of audacity.
Indeed, starting off your mornings with a bang, audacious mornings. And as promised, Papi Sathekge joins us in the studio. Shoo, a feel-good story like no other. I love stories like this, where he noticed that there was something lacking in his community and he thought, hey, let me stand up, use whatever I have to be able to make a difference. And we love to hear it. Audacious people doing audacious things. Thank you so very much for your time. How are you, Papi?
I'm very blessed and you. I'm back with that name of the notorious township in the world, but not that notorious.
Yeah.
As we say, Diepsloot, my paradise. Hashtag protect my Diepsloot.
Yeah.
And then,
And I love that you are starting that off on that note, because obviously when we hear Diepsloot, all sorts of negative things come to mind. And you are actively trying to put a positive spin in particularly the community, particularly the young ones in the community, and make your kind of difference. So maybe let's talk about why that was so important to you and where you actually started in your journey.
Yeah, the journey started when I arrived in Diepsloot. I arrived in Diepsloot in 1999.
Yeah.
Of course, I came here for a greener pasture like everyone.
Yes.
I'm coming from Zanini, the place called Mawa in Limpopo.
Yeah.
I mean, then I'm coming from a dusty street. So I thought our area is more disadvantaged until I arrived into Diepsloot and I realized actually there are really problems in this country. And the plan was to come here and study and go in home and start some other things to develop my own area. But I started to be in Diepsloot and being engaged in Diepsloot and very attached to all the things that are there. And I realized that if I have to go and change home, let me start changing the atmosphere that is there around our community. And I said, I'm not going to change it alone. Let's partner with other people. And along the way, we partnered with a lot of people after my graduation, including people that are, I call them community activists because they are not politically affiliated. I tend to run away from politics because they tend to push the agenda in another way.
Very true.
So I started in that way that I was touched with whatever is happening. And then I wanted to play my part. And I think up to so far,
you think you're doing okay?
I played my part. If I'm doing okay, it will be the sense of now we start having, I would say I do okay because now we start having the media treated like this one that you called us to take positive stories about Diepsloot. That's what we want.
100%.
We just want positive stories about our area, as every township has its own sickness.
For sure.
So we agree that there's crime in Diepsloot. We agree that there's notorious things in Diepsloot. But we also agree that there's positive things that are happening in Diepsloot, like other townships.
So in the late 90s, you founded the Umtonje Theatre Production company. So talk to us about what made you think that this was what you wanted to do, instead of maybe joining whatever established entities were around and plugging into those. You thought, this is the corner and this is the space that I want to operate in. What motivated that?
Yeah, I'm a theatre practitioner. And then I started theatre when I was in high school, actually in primary, but it started to have a sense when I was in high school. Because in primary I was doing what we call a sketch. But when you go to high school, I'm start seeing career inside it. So it was Babikie Production before, and then until I came to Joburg and learn, and I changed the name because the name Umtonje Theatre, it's coming from, it's a sentence. Umuntu onje is a Zulu-ness. Umutonje, we just cut that in short to say. So people were just saying, you are always with kids in a hall and so on. What kind of person are you? And the answer was always saying, Ngimuntu onje. So that's where Umtonje come from. So now, when the journey goes, and I realized that I'm coming far, and I started having programs that I'm doing in the community, and One of those programs was tour guide in Diepsloot.
Yeah.
And then I get employed in the Diepsloot youth program to start running our program. I start working with subs in the community.
Nice.
Then I realized there's a journey here. And then I changed from Umtonje Theatre Production to Umtonje Voyage. Voyage is a French word called journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how Umtonje was started.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm particularly excited. You know, I'm a lover of the arts. I'm a supporter of the arts. And what I've found to be really heartbreaking in recent times is the collapse, I suppose, of spaces where the arts are allowed to be discovered, to be nurtured, to be groomed. You know, we used to have so many, I'm from Gugulethu in Cape Town, and we used to have so many cultural centers where if your talent is music, your talent is acting, dancing, whatever the case, there were spaces in which that talent can be nurtured, can be discovered, can be honed. And a lot of those have sort of collapsed over time. And I'm happy that, you know, you have a space in which you're keeping that very much active, but who's helping you to keep it active? Because clearly, by all suggestions that we're hearing, you know, the creative economy is struggling because of lack of monetary support. So for yourself, who's helping you? Who are some of your partners?
I always say I'm doing development.
Yeah.
In terms of arts, I'm doing development. I get the raw talents.
Yeah.
The talents that you never seen that is a talent.
Sure.
And I used to train them in the community hall. So I was one of the fortunate person that when I go to SAPS and say this is what I'm doing, they say, look, we have a youth crime prevention desk that you can be part of it so that we can be able to see who can assist. And then along the way, I met the Century Property Development Directors who were starting the project called the program called the Diepsloot Youth Program.
Yeah.
And then when they started that, they said, look, the kind of people that we need the people that are actually doing something in the community. So from where I'm sitting now, I'm getting paid for something that I never thought I'm going to get paid by the Diepsloot Youth Program to do that.
Yeah.
So the Diepsloot Youth Program has employed me to do whatever I was doing it for free.
Yeah.
So to be able to get those things better, and it became better for me to do it better because now I have something that I'm carrying at home.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer going to market any job because I have this. So in a nutshell, what you are asking me about the partnership in this case will be your Diepsloot Youth Program, your Century Property Development, your Out of Africa, including Riverside Incubation Hub.
Yeah.
There's no art center in Diepsloot. There's no art center around our communities. But when we were talking to Century Property Development, say we need an alternative space for young people to go and rehearse their stuff. They said, look, we have a place that we can offer you that you can rehearse with young people, and then not only your group, all the groups that are coming from Diepsloot, they are allowed to come and use that space. And then they said, look, we know that you don't have a theater, but we have an auditorium that we use for our business conference. But you can book it. So anytime when you have some other events, you can book it. If it's available for you, you can have your own event. As long as you can put the area as clean as it was before, and then we are happy to assist you. And then I salute those people because for the first time since I arrived in Diepsloot, or since I arrived in Gauteng, we hosted the last stage of Ishashalaza Festival in our area, in the township. The township whereby people who cannot understand what theater is, they managed to get an opportunity to come and watch all the shows, the poetry, the dance, the music, including theater productions. So we were so excited about this, and we are hoping that this relationship between us and the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation will continue grow.
Sure, our feel-good story today, our audacious hangout, Papi Sathekge, as you hear his voice. He's a South African writer, director, producer, choreographer, and performer who joins us to tell us a little bit more about the Learning Festival program. But we were laying the foundation, right?
Yes.
And I think it's also important to talk about, the impact that you can visibly see. Maybe some stories, good moments that you'd like to share with us. A particular moment of pride where you can say, with all this work that I've been doing, there's one moment that stands out, maybe even two. But also how the community has embraced. I think you've just touched on that. The partnerships that you have, government departments and all of that, but also the community, how they have lifted you up and supported you and thought, hey, I want my kids to be part of this because I know it's going to make a change in their lives.
Yes, the Learning Festival is not something new. We started the Learning Festival as the Diepsloot youth program because we realized that when schools are closed, there's a lot of young people that
are roaming
around the street. And we have a soccer team, we have a netball team, we have an arts and culture team. But it's not only those kids that are interested in those particular incidents only. We said, let's do what we call a learning festival. A learning festival is to call different types of stakeholders to come and render an item for 2 hours. For in a day we'll have 3 stakeholders. Some will come and do indigenous game with kids, some will come and do the games, some will bring, the exciting thing is there are kids that cannot afford to go to watch animals at the zoo. But we decided to say if we cannot take kids to the zoo, let's take the zoo to the kids. So the zoo transport will come with snakes, will come with animals to come and give an opportunity for our kids to watch it.
Lovely.
And then we call the emergency services to come and just tell our kids how danger is to be on the street, what are the kind of things that they need to avoid to be in danger in our own community. We will have the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation. I appreciate them a lot because what they have done this year is to call some celebrity artists that are coming from the professional production, like your Skim Sami, like your Scandal, to come and say,